6477.
With the power of Tandem HR, you are in the fast lane on Main Street with Get Down to Business with Shalom Klein, the show for business and jobs. Now, the champion of networking, the advocate of jobs, the guru of business, your host, Shalom Klein.
We are all about small business, jobs, and entrepreneurship in business. We talk a lot about business here. You're on with Get Down to Business, and I'm your host, Shalom Klein. Remember, you can always download podcasts from Get Down to Business on my website at shalomklein.com. And while you are there, don't forget to follow me on Twitter at Shalom Klein. We are powered by our good friends at Tandem HR. Check them out online, tandemhr.com, or give them a call, 630-928-0510. And you could call into the program today at 312-642-5600. Jam-packed lineup of guests, beginning with our good friend Linda Nicholls from IMC Solutions, an expert and a guru on everything regarding the job search and hiring. And today we'll be talking about the job-seeking cycle. So Linda Nicholls, welcome back to Get Down to Business. It's great to have you on the program tonight.
Thank you, Shalom. Glad to be here.
It's great to have you. So, Linda, it's amazing. I can't believe we're already at August, just this week. And summer is an interesting time, whether you're young or old, and I hate to use those stereotypes for folks that are deciding what's next in their life. Summer is that sort of midpoint, that transition. I always laugh when people use the school year to talk about the calendar year, because it's not. But summer vacation time is one of those best times to apply for jobs. Linda, what do you see in the industry with people in the job search? Is this a good season or bad season?
Well, it can be a little bit of both, in that it's true that there often, in certain years, are not as many new jobs being posted in the summer. I think the volume is pretty good this year, so we're job seekers are certainly fortunate. But the job can stay open a little bit longer because you have candidates on vacation, you have hiring managers on vacation, and so the process gets dragged out. The good part is, for those job seekers that are applying in the summer, is their competition is lower because of vacations.
People are headed out, so while the competition is away, you should strike, which makes sense. So, Linda, you're describing the good and bad seasons to apply for jobs. Certainly, summer's interesting because a lot of hiring managers are away, but competition is away. What would you say are the other good times to potentially look for jobs?
Well, the two seasons where your competition will be the lowest would be that June to August period, and then November, December. Millions of people put off their job search until after the holidays because they want to get the hustle and bustle over and done with because of time. And all Americans seem to be triggered by the cycles of new year, new start, wanting to get going on something fresh. Let me wait till that's all over. The same thing is true in that June-August period. We'd rather not search then. We want to wait till the kids are back in school and then hit it. Now, so is everybody else. So you're right in the middle of all the competition when you wait to those two cycles. So summer and late fall, early winter are truly the best times when you'll have the least amount of competition.
And that makes a lot of sense. And I know, again, we're chatting with Linda Nicholls of IMC Solutions, some great advice regarding the seasons in hunting for a job. And Linda correctly implies that many folks are traveling, various vacations, and certainly it's a time when a lot of other job seekers may not be taking advantage and may be away. But Linda, you also correctly comment that many companies, many hiring managers, many employers are away too. Linda, what I've been discovering, and I'm curious if you've seen this as well, is that even though you're right that many companies and hiring managers and owners of companies are traveling, these days people are working remotely. people are stay connected even when they're away. So if somebody has a job posted on one of the many job boards, or maybe they engaged a recruiter, and we'll talk about that some more in a moment, they will have potentially fewer applications waiting for them in their email, which they will likely be checking even though they are away from the office and away from their computer. So the competition argument that you just made certainly does apply. People are traveling, but you could still take advantage and get their undivided attention because there are not as many applications or resumes competing for their attention. Would you agree, Linda?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. The hiring managers certainly know that the responses are fewer during these periods. But that's all the more reason why they pay attention more carefully to the resumes that do come in. Now, I usually recommend that hiring managers also try to hire during these periods for the same reason. Maybe the candidate flow is lower, but their competition is also snoozing.
That's right. That's right. So would you recommend to a job seeker, you've given 2 cycles, you mentioned the beginning of the calendar year in January when the holidays are over and new budgets are approved, and folks that want to get a fresh start in the new year, it's time for a new year, a new job. And then you also mentioned that summer season, that after the summer season, the start of the new school year, potentially when vacations are over, that's when some folks are getting serious. What advice would you have regarding folks that may be just paying attention to the calendar for their job search? Do you think that they should avoid certain times or specifically target certain times for the job search, or when you need to look, you need to look, and you should put your best foot forward anytime?
Well, that's true. If you know you need to look now, no matter what season it is, by all means you do that. But if you can do so and strategically, strategically you should search for exactly the job that you're qualified for and that you're looking for, no matter what time of the year. But if you really want to put on an all-out search, and perhaps you're in a profession that knows no season, in other words, you're in demand all year long, you can simply eliminate some of the competition if you do it during those particular seasons.
Interesting. Good advice for job seekers and employers alike. But Linda, we are now, as I mentioned, basically into August. We are certainly deep into the third quarter of the year, which means that before you know it, it's going to be the fourth quarter. And although I want to enjoy every minute of our lovely Chicago summer, it's going to get colder outside. We know it will. And we know that Q4 is right around the corner. And for many companies, that's when they really, really ramp up those hiring decisions. What words of advice do you have for both employers as well as for job seekers regarding end of the year, job searches and end of the year hiring?
Well, certainly those employers that can hire in Q4 are really serious about getting it done. Maybe because their budget will be gone. If they don't use it, they lose it. I've had a number of clients that have told me that. But also, if a client is on a fiscal year where their new budget hits Jan 1, sometimes they like to get a jump on the search. Again, the competition, their other competition is lower, so they want to start seeing what candidates are out there. They can, even though their budget isn't until Q1 of the next year, they can still make offers. The person just won't start until Jan 1. So it behooves the serious seeker and the serious hirer to be very active in Q4.
Great advice, again, from the guru of everything hiring, the guru of everything job search. our good friend Linda Nicholls, who has appeared so many times on this program and always has some great insight and information for companies and for job seekers alike. Linda, you certainly know a thing or two about the cycles for hiring and the cycles for the job search, how to correctly position candidates and companies for the best opportunities. Linda, I'm sure our listeners have questions for you. If they want to discuss this cycle, the job search cycle in greater detail, how can they get a hold of you?
Absolutely. Please call me at 630-637-6200, or you can email me at lnicholls@imcsolutions.com.
Okay, Linda Nicholls from IMC Solutions. We always appreciate your expertise here on Get Down to Business. Speaking of expertise, our next guest, Andrew Cavanaugh, certainly knows a thing or two about current events, and it's in the news quite a bit this weekend. President Trump threatening insurance companies that the bailouts, as he calls it, the bailouts for insurance companies to support the marketplace. He's saying he's going to let Obamacare collapse. We will discuss that with the author of an op-ed running an Investor's Business Daily, Andrew Cavanaugh. He'll be joining us right after this quick break. You're listening to Get Down to Business, the show all about small business, jobs, and entrepreneurship. We'll be right back.